Okay, welcome to Support and Resistance Levels with my friend, Mr. No Nonsense Forex.
The vast majority of Forex traders use support and resistance lines.
This guy's too much. Look, he's burning money. That's what happens when you use support and resistance. Step away from the charts, people. Don't be drawing those support and resistance levels.
The vast majority of Forex traders lose money.
Huh? Wait a second. What are you trying to say?
Are we really going to sit here and act like there's no connection at all?
Oh my god. Can't this guy get better music? What the fuck is that sample? It's all clipped. It sounds like shit on a stick, dude. Come on, are you serious?
Well, you knew it was coming, and it's about time we talked about it.
Oh my god.
I just want to say this because I know
this guy's got 14,000 views on this fucking thing. He dropped this thing on the 3rd of April. People love this fucknut because he's a VP professional. He ain't no amateur Forex prop trader. He'd be professional. Very.
So many people that will be watching this video that use and are fans of support and resistance lines. So just know that it is totally fine. It is totally okay.
Can I back up to the beginning of that? That was exquisite. This is some kind of indicator called the pivot monster. I don't know. It's called something pivot. But look how it's picking out the going back 5 years and shit. 3 years. It's beautiful. 5 years on the bottom.
The vast.
It's showing you the vacuums, auto vacuum, but it's missing one vacuum. I see. Jumped out at me. I did a quick scan of this. Looking for the stop on saw, or looking for the just by the wick, the window between the close and the wick. So this is the cut zone. You know, the double bottoms. You would cut those wicks off. You need to be buying all these wicks. Anything below this close is your entry. You know, and you're just like building a position. Now you could be building a short position at some point here. People say patterns don't work either, right? You don't understand how to draw them. I get it. This top becomes a bottom on this chart of his. The wicks are the insanity. You don't always get filled there, but that is the insanity. Then here's another vacuum. This robot's missing the big story. So that was that, and that's why that somebody bought this. And they scalped it nearly back to the top there on that big fucking bar. See? That's, or at least that's just the way the market behaves when it hits this thing, right? When it hit this one, it just went ripping through. That's why, even though you bought this pocket, this one's more meaningful because this is the deeper pocket, right? So see what happens here. This is the first scalp, right? Comes back in. If you're aggressively selling on limits just above the last wick or anything above close. So that's why the hanging man, this window here never gets filled. Here's the trap though off of this top, right? These wicks, it's just almost back. And who's ever really in heavy there is getting the fuck out, and all the trend traders are getting in there, right? On this rooftop here. These candles are zoomed in just enough. You know, this is an amazing chart. And this kind of auto look back thing is kind of helping. Although I'd take into consideration this top and this top looking forward. No fill on this one. But in this window here, and then the classic rip back and crush into this top. Overshoot the runway. Volatility is very low there. This is the nearly touching there again. So just really range trading, I think. Most of your money is going to be waiting for a quiet drift up. It never makes it to your sell limit here. You have to take what the market's going to give you. We never make it there. And that's what makes this more violent move here. And as soon as they hit this level, forget about it, right? I mean, this is the end of the life. So this pocket's meaningful because that did fill. A little bit of this one, but they just sliced that off hard there. Kind of comes back to that at some point. And once again, it's trapped right now below the floor. I'd say that it's probably retracing at least to here. Get the first scalp out. Get that under your, this is the, what is this, gold market or something? 4 days ago? I don't know. But it's a glorious top in gold. That's what that is. Of course, that's on the weekly chart. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's up to. I don't get it. I still can't understand. This guy's still psyching me out with his bizarre tone of voice, and I feel like I'm being manipulated. He's rattling my cage, this motherfucker.
Majority of Forex traders use support and resistance lines.
Oh, I just saw something else here before he leaves that. This whole pocket that gets like filled up, this whole kind of fills back to here, back to that. But oh my God, look at this thing. Another thing is just run a moving average at highs only and just build a high entry bot. So it just looks for low. As soon as you get below here, it starts to run buy stop, see? And it gets trapped there a little bit, but look at this. It really gets in pretty much at the bottom. You could turn on in a huge down move, you could still turn on a trailing buy stop bot and have it try to pick up this bullshit. I don't know what time frame this is. Well, it's weekly, but this could be a 50-minute chart, right? You could scalp this insanity back to here. And then another plunge is coming. And they go deeper, just by like barely. Amazing. Amazing. Support and resistance. It's too bad this guy is not a fan.
The vast majority of Forex traders lose money. Are we really going to sit here and act like there's no connection at all?
Jesus Christ. Save me from that goddamn music. This guy's too much with his fucking... It's conspiratorial. 95% of people are driving cars drunk. They seem to crash their car. It's crazy.
It is totally fine. It is totally okay to make a video that shows how awesome support and resistance lines are. It is also totally okay to make a video that says why you don't...
What is this, a guy, a Valley Girl? Totally. Yeah.
Think support and resistance lines are that great at all. And that's what this video is. But people get really, really sensitive over...
Yeah, I do.
Little pixels and pulses of light on a screen that have no feelings, no families. But how dare I be the one guy...
Now that's bullshit. If you're in a big position, every pulse of that tick, every tick is worth X. You don't think that once you build a position that's fucking big and you're thinking, should I peel something off? Or you get into a position that big. It's different to build a position up to 130K by constantly accumulating at a certain price and just accepting that may not work out. And building a position and getting up to a certain amount, yeah, everything is going to matter. I mean, why is this guy so like... Because he's an indicator guy, like he's a robot. Well, just build a robot, dude, and just shut the fuck up. What's wrong with this guy?
To speak negatively on them. Yeah, it's almost...
Better off without it. You're better off without... Yeah, I guess, you know, I mean... He doesn't trade reversals, I get it. So he doesn't understand how to trade the edge of the market. He's thinking, well, what if it keeps going down?
Almost like there's this unwritten rule that you can only say positive things about certain tools in technical trading. And therein lies the problem.
Well, we can all see the downfall of things. Anything misused, let's not criticize vaginas just because two of them can't make a baby.
So let's talk about this. Now, first, understand, traders, a lot of you who are watching this video right now are my subscribers, my blog readers, my podcast listeners. I make a lot of videos that are mainly just for you. I wouldn't say this is one of them.
He get some hot chicks in the background like Tom Vu. He's just got this chalkboard shit that's like low res. This is more for new viewers. Well, it'd be like me.
This is a video that's going to be more for new viewers. A lot of you already know to avoid support and resistance lines.
This guy's kidding, right? Avoid them. They'll burn your money. Ignore that giant vacuum in front of you, son.
But I have to
step off this cliff over here. Your indicator says go.
be respectful
Oopsie daisy. Market can't see your indicator. It's crazy.
to some of the new viewers.
It's not a family, he said. Dude, every tick for me is a family of pips. Okay, that is my family, damn it.
Coming into, and certain videos are going to be more geared towards them.
Geared.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't watch this.
Richard
There's always
geared?
things to learn, especially when I make these Dirty Dozen videos.
The Dirty Dozen. Oh my God, this guy would. I don't get his angle. Is he like, what are they called? Opposition?
So
He's controlled opposition, right?
it's true. I don't like support and resistance.
Well, but it likes you. What a dumb shit.
It was in the Dirty Dozen video, which
I've not got to the Dirty Dozen. I'm holding that out as the end clincher of the season's no nonsense bullshit.
was one of the most popular videos.
Why is he doing this to people? Is this some kind of like? First off, is he trying to make people into a cult where they don't believe in reality, just to buy his indicators down the road? What are they setting people up for? Well, you got to go to the next. You want to go clear, right? You want to go over the bridge. You got to get more indicators.
Done, and which I went over 12 different.
I just want to start over. Okay, the Dirty Dozen. He's got like electrodes that train you to not like them.
Forex tools that most
It's electric coaching he does. Shot collars.
people out there use or use some combination of.
If he doesn't like it, I'm all over it. Thanks for the heads up, buddy. Just the sound of his voice lets me know that I should be doing everything he says I shouldn't be doing.
And a little snippet on them of why I don't think they're very good.
A snippet? What's he talking about?
And then I later went on to say that I'm going to do an individual video on each one of those tools. And so we have arrived at support and resistance. And I also have a video called Big Banks.
Oh, God, the dirty big banks providing liquidity for my little account.
You have not seen
Thank you. Thanks for being there, big bank. And then the bigger bank would be the government. Let's not forget the fractional reserve banking that allows us to play with loads of dough in the market. 5 trillion a day.
I will link it down below in the description. As of right now, it has over 500,000 views. It has completely changed the way a lot of people think about Forex.
Oh, that's about time, man. Because I thought it was like some kind of scientific thing with the fucking. I'll agree with this guy in one point. He says that Fibonacci's bullshit. Okay, he's right about that, but he doesn't understand that the market has made its own landscape that you have to respect. Support and resistance really does exist. It's a real thing, people. Don't listen to this guy. Don't do it. Put down the gun.
And what I talked about in that video is going to play a very big part in what I talk about today. So if you haven't seen it, you just actually want to go see it right now. I'm going to put a little box up in the corner right now. And you can click that and come back here if you want.
He's got that melody voice. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm coded to certain, like, he's like training a dog. Now you want to go down the hall on the left. Okay. When people talk to me like that, I'm already pissed off. Like, I'm not going to follow your goober fucking ask. To the left. No, your other left. Okay.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. But I do know that a lot of you have already seen that video, so let's get right into this one.
Can't wait. Now, this is my first time seeing this far deep. I've seen up till here, and then I had to bail and just say, I'm going to take it as it comes, just like I'm forced to be here.
This video, I'm going to show you why I don't use support and resistance lines and why I prefer my method better. There are clear differences between using things like support and resistance, as popular as they are, and the way we do things. And
so maybe he's got the same signal entries as I do for different reasons, though. Now, this is where he could be right. If he's going to get in a breakout of a small area, he's waiting for a moving average divergence. A classic thing that you could find in any stochastics if you went and searched, get MT4 out, or go to a site that'll let you go from 1 minute all the way to 144 minutes or 1440 minutes, with a wah-wah pedal, it just whatever you need, a big giant fader in front of you. And you'll see that at the right point in time on the 3.5 minute chart, it looks brilliant, and okay, but you still have a problem with which instrument are you trading and how big are you in, and have you fine-tuned just to that? Are you going to be a guy that can just play that, instead of playing chords, you can play one string, you can do things that most people can't. I just don't think it's for everybody. This guy seems to be I just don't get the angle. Maybe he's trying to, like I said, trying to brainwash people to not think in terms of reality so he can sell them like he's got them broken so they need his indicator.
Really point those differences out, especially to people finding this channel for the first time, especially to newer traders.
Method better. Just bend over, no lube.
And especially for
later on, he's going to have everybody like, I got to get across the bridge. I'm a loser.
Traders who have been using support and resistance lines for,
I'll turn on that chick, Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes. Dude. Gotta check this girl out. She just nods her head like her head bobs up and down.
Maybe a year or two or even less. But I will also attempt.
What did he just say? Wait, a year or two. What did he say?
Traders who have been using support and resistance lines for maybe a year or two or even less. But I will also attempt at least to make peace with the diehard support and resistance crowd out there, because I know
make peace. Oh my God, why? I mean, it's a war apparently of indicators against his indicators. I guess support and resistance is just too raw of data. He wants to put like, I want this dirty dozen. And then he's got some hyper algorithmic algorithm that's like supposed to be the holy grail he's composed. It has to do with ATR. He does have that in there, but can he see that support and resistance is ATR? What was the aha moment, or is he just trying to like leave breadcrumbs? What's going on?
A lot of you are watching this video right now. A lot of you are just grinding your teeth, just waiting for me to say something you disagree with. Fear not, at the end, I have a solution that I think will work for all of us.
Beer?
But the fact still remains that most technical traders
Can we listen to the song Remains the Same by Zeppelin right now?
Do use support and resistance in some capacity, and most of them lose money.
There goes my money again. God damn it.
This is a problem, and I think there are real reasons behind this, and whether you use them or like them or you don't, we need to at least dive into what these problems might be. So first off, understand, I even said this in the Dirty Dozen video, support and resistance lines are not awful. All right.
Oh my God, you made it sound like I had to throw them out. Dude, I was standing on the cliff ready to jump. Well, he came down pretty hard there. It's like, hands up, don't shoot.
Don't just completely hate on them. Trend lines are terrible. They're
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God, they're perfect. You have to know what they mean. They actually are the trend. The first failure swing initializes the trend. You just have to draw the line. Everybody knows this, that knows how to use trend lines. Come on, people, don't be fucking retarded. You draw them, whether you draw them on the wicks or on the closing prices, doesn't matter. It's giving you like a bias. And you're going to build your trade plan around that, and it doesn't matter whether you buy or sell. It's how do you get in? Are you getting in the envelope? Are you getting in on a spike? Are you getting in because it's just happening by default because you placed the orders there ahead of time, or you are trading on your phone in a small position with a hard stop. One click. I'm sure Android can be set to one click. I'm sure you can write some, Python code or something, whatever the fuck they write on these Androids. You just copy. You have to find some copy compiler. This is like, you got to learn how to speak Russian. I'm not up for it, so I'm just going to trade on my tablet. But, you know, if you can imagine a trend line, or another thing about trend lines is that they project into the future like a cloud trading. It's like a hard cloud. Whereas the cloud trading, the problem there is that you're in no way echoing the last behavior of the market. So this kind of cadence the market has and creates a certain kind of zigzag. You know, markets, the Australia versus New Zealand used to range, and people would buy and sell it, you know. And at some point, it took the floor out there, you know. Things start to, you know, it does matter, I think. And the trend line on closing prices, I think, is a real nice, like a triangle, is a high intensity situation. It has to resolve in some manner. And whether it resolves up or down doesn't matter, because it's so compressed at that point that it's a different kind of trade plan. You can run very tight stops. And you have to really have very wide exits. You have to let the market come to your tickets. But in Asia, you're going to run different, you might run deep grids for, depending how long you're going to sleep, right? If you're going to sleep 4 hours, then, or if you're just getting tired of launching these scripts, right? You're going to do what you probably should do with maybe $1,000 is put your orders in for the whole fucking week. Just hand place them at support and resistance, and then put in scalps there. Just build the whole thing. If they don't fill, then you haven't lost any money. If they do fill, and you tally each single drop, hand place, that's how you're supposed to trade, you know. Shotgunning the market with, 10 orders, 10 pips apart, with a master stop, with a certain expiration in a certain market, is amazing. It's like I don't think you could drop that religiously every hour like the robot's doing right now that I'm using to test that script. But if you were to have a singularity robot that all it did was one maneuver, and you could kind of structure that one, right? So you have this module that does one thing, plays one note at one resonance, and you could have, on top of that, another one. So you just build around that, because that is a diversification where if it's an 8-pip bar as opposed to a 12-pip bar, there's more robots that are going to initiate on the 8-pip, right? The bigger you go, the sloppier you need to trade, and the wider your tickets are, and the wider the stops, and the less orders you can put in, because now you've got the swing grid is out there that lasts the whole week, and those trades are good all week long. Nothing's going to change support and resistance. It's written in stone across that very first chart he had was just beautiful. I mean, it was kind of giving you a head start on perceiving how, like, a 5-year vacuum as opposed to a 1-year, as opposed to what could fill in the feeding zone right at the support and resistance level. But that's just me after years of looking at it and realizing that you have to do it by hand to really do it properly. You can't just throw a fucking indicator on a chart or throw a robot at it. Actually, you could throw a robot at it before the indicators, because what's the fucking point of the indicator? If you've got a rule set for that thing, well, it's got to be this color, that color. You got to have a fucking hammer. Well, you have a hammer filter at the end, right? It's going to be like totally contoured, you know. At the end, it's got even money management built in. If the market starts to go nuts, it widens the stop a little bit. It gives, like, and it's just one robot. Now you clone that, put it on a cloud, and you got about 100 robots trading. Okay, this virtual prop house. There you go. You're done. Who's going to do it? Probably not a lot of people. So it's funny that there's so many ideas out there that nobody's doing, and nobody will do it because, okay, yeah, I could do that, but why would I do that? And it's like, is it more fun to trade yourself? Do you like pulling the trigger? Does that ruin the fun? I mean, to me, an automatic transmission kind of ruins the fun. A manual transmission to me feels more like I'm actually more in control. I can just let go of the throttle and I'll start to slow down. Whereas, brakes and all that, and yeah, but it's just what you like, This guy just gives me anxiety. That's all. I just thought I'd comment on it.
There are no redeeming factors to trend lines at all. Most people don't even draw them.
There's no redeeming quality. This guy's pretty brutal, I must say. Just when he said, you know what, I'm not going to hate on you trendline guys, and I'm going to make peace with you support resistance people, but you trendline people, you're fucking terrible. I just thought, this must be a joke. It's like the
right way, or don't.
They're not terrible.
Draw them the same as
trendlines are terrible.
Everybody else does. And this leads to wild inconsistencies, and the fact that you better hope diagonal support and resistance is actually
so everybody that draws them trades them with the same trade plan. I mean, this is harebrained shit. Well, everybody's using support and resistance. Everybody's losing money. Yeah, does it mean that everybody's trading it the proper way? What is this bizarre floating? There's no reference to this guy. It's hilarious
thing, which I really doubt it is. I absolutely did crap on trend lines in the video I made for that. Psychological price levels are not very good either. They're
I don't know. I mean, it's not that it's psychological, dude. It's 100 pips. If he claims the banks are involved in trading, do you really think a bank's worried about like a little itty-bitty pip? If a currency is, I have a 200 pip grid. You could actually take and put a 200 pip grid up, okay? And you look at a currency on the monthly and go, look at that fucking thing at 200 pips. Because somebody wants it at that price, and it's going to pause there. It's reached there's more people interested just above and below that round number than there are people interested on the way to it. Typically, there will be you could see a market scream because it's about handles, right? It's about there's people that want it at those numbers, and they know that they can dump it for or it's just the vacuum's filling hard, because typically in that situation you'd have to look at the vacuum and say, why did we just go smashing up like unbelievably? Because you're taking out 7 years, 11 years, 15 years of data. I mean, when you see shit like that, you're like, dude, come on. There's no trade plan for that. I mean, if it's going so fucking fast, there's no way for you to get on a train. You're just going to be sitting there at the fucking train station going, man, is there another market? And if you're in that trade and you get out and you're up and you see it go on without you, is that going to be a loss for you? Probably. If it goes up and then it slams back and then it really goes up and they blow you up because you're in so big because you could see it coming. So the whole idea of an indicator is saying, oh, I got a lot of confirmation on this and going in. I just love to see where this guy puts his stops and shit. It's probably hysterical. It's where anybody would put their entry order. I have not seen this guy trade yet. He does not show one fucking, even a fictitious trade. So, psychological price levels, okay, but it doesn't even matter. They're just round numbers, Isn't it? Look, the dollar is just below $1. Isn't that interesting? I think it is psychological there. I mean, the sitting there at that level, if it starts to go above and you get inflation, but world inflation's coming, right? I mean, the world's getting very small. Chinamen are about to go like full Roboton.
these imaginary levels where people think that everybody's just going to react to, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but we have...
Okay, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. That's based on what rooftop it's taken off, what basement it's crushing, wherever it's at in the market profile world of the total profile. Looking back, if you know how to read market profile, whatever spikes and divots you have on the right or left side or whatever the bulge is where all the people are trading. Unfair value is where it's very thin, right? So are you getting in where it's thin and trading it back to fair value and dumping? Because you could do that all day long. You could take it from the edge to the center and dump, edge to the center and dump. You don't have to ride it for a full auction where it engulfs the thing. You could just sit there and fucking go, oh yeah, I'm just trolling 5-8 pips deep. Let's see how this works. And you could have stacking up on top of it buy stops that have a decay rate, and you just have to accommodate the market. It doesn't know you exist. But once you're in it, you feel like it knows you exist because of the equity fluctuations. If you want to make a lot of money, I suppose you're going to have to endure some fluctuations, but you want to keep it to a minimum because you've got to have a lot of dry powder there in the limit orders, and you've got to be expecting the expected, which is, we've all seen it, where they go after last week's low in some currency pair. They rape it in like a 1 pip zone and it goes the other way. And people are like, what the fuck? Yeah, no shit. Well, duh, it happens all the time. Nobody's going to put their orders there if they're using indicators because there's no indicator. It happens before they can even get their fucking brain around it. They'd have to be on the 1 minute chart to experience it, you know? That's another big problem, is nobody's going to take these trades like that unless they trust in the levels. But if you take it to a novice, like once you've seen indicators, you kind of can't unsee them. It's like a girl with lingerie, you know. You're like, oh, she looked good in this color, you know. Next thing you know, that's what indicators are, really. It's like lingerie on your chart, you know. The fact is, it's like, so this is called naked trading. You know, you just have like a line chart, or you just have those bars, and you just take it from there. You're like, oh, here we go. You got a trade plan for that, you know. That's what it comes down to. And how much would you risk per trade? Is it $20? Is it $30? I would say make up an array risk. You have a $10 risk, a $20. You could keep the same stop and just keep on taking the size up, which is less work because, you know, so you're going to risk $5 a trade. You got a lot of $5 drops. You have a lot of breathing room, you know. 50 pips on the, you know, the 1K to a 5K, you know, 2. And just be, or expand it out. So you have to build your arrays like that, your buy and sells. And you have to figure out, okay, what is it like psychologically to place your orders at these price levels, which are terrible? It's all terrible. I mean, is there really a holy grail? There isn't, right?
I have no idea which one that's going to be, which levels those are going to be at. And
but we do have an idea. We can see what's happened in history. It's just amazing. Like, it's amazingly simple, but it's just psychologically terrifying to put orders in no man's land. It's called no man's land.
And why we should even care. So I like support and resistance a lot more than I do these implied make-believe levels. And then Fibonacci, you guys know how I feel about Fibonacci.
Now, it is terrible, but from the standpoint of discount, okay, it's okay, right? You're saying 62% off. I think it's terrible because it should be 75% off. It should be 125% off. You'd be better just slicing it in quarters, honestly. But it's terrible for the reason that it's so precise, and where you place it is so subjective, where there's nothing subjective about these vacuums. If you say you're on the 1 hour chart, you're going to look back 5 days. All those vacuums looking back matter. All that uncharted water matters. Now, where you're at in the situation at that point in time is, do you have a trade for that moment? Well, just put a hedge on that, you know, or just put on one leg. or just start putting pendings in. Or, you're just going to have to either let the market come to you, or you're going to have some type of accumulation plan where you check the market every 20 minutes or whatever, every 8 hours. I mean, you can build positions. They get very big over time. And you can scalp out of it. All of a sudden, you're in 85K. You take 45K off, take some money. So living in the market in different sizings in one instrument, buying and selling, right? So you're just kind of having fun in one instrument, because you can contour the current true range of every day. You can see it. You can see last day. Very simple. I would go for another account if I was going to do another instrument. I have another separate account doing that on a separate computer, totally separate, maybe in a different room, because I just don't want to see it. When I'm playing guitar, I don't want to see. I just can't do it. So it's just a matter of preference, right? Now, people are swearing by Fibonacci, and I think only because they're under trading it. You rarely get hit. And it's 62% off, or 168, which is a better discount.
And any chance I get to kind of shoehorn this in, I'm going to. Now look, there are Fibonacci traders out there who do really well with it, but they are very few and far between. The odd look, I make videos for the majority of traders, not.
So what he's saying is that, sadly, only the intellectuals can trade Fibonacci. He's doing stuff for the vast majority of goobers. He's a goober leading goobers.
For the tiny little group of Fibonacci hardcore nerds that are going to figure out a way to use this thing.
Oh my God. I didn't see that coming. You fucking cross-eyed geeks in the corner. Jesus Christ. Step away from that goddamn Fibonacci tool already. Get yourself a girlfriend.
The odds of most people ever getting to where you are with Fibonacci is extremely...
They're using it to build really high-end inflatable dials with the golden ratio.
Small. There are reasons why this is, and nobody's going to want to take those odds. And so when I did the Fibonacci video, that was mainly the points I was trying to highlight there as well. But support...
But... SNR is something I don't advise. I'll take her to the clinic and see if she's got any diseases first. Trust me.
Resistance is just something I...
You gotta trust me, man. I'm not that bad. Trust me.
Flat out don't advise people to use. I can't say anything really terrible about them, but I honestly do think if you can just get these out of your trading altogether, you're going to be better off. And there are two big reasons why this is. And so we're going to cover both of those in a minute. But first off, just understand too, a lot of times I leave details out for the sake of time because I feel like they're obvious, but the nitpickers always want to jump in. So just so you know, here at No Nonsense Forex, we trade...
No Nonsense Forex. Oh, I see what just happened. Here at Scientology Labs.
The daily time frame only because there are tremendous advantages.
Oh, God. This is a heartbreaker when I saw this. The guy's using indicators. He's going to go to the daily chart. Oh, boy.
To trading this way. That was episode 3.
I guess he's right. Support and resistance. You would have waited a long time for
of the podcast.
But hey, listen. Buying new lows on the daily. I doubt he's doing it.
I'm going to link that one down below as well if you want to check that one out later.
We get to see him trade.
And I do know that
banks can react differently to intraday trading. Well, are we intimidating the banks? All us retail guys are out there.
the big banks that I talked about in that video can react differently to intraday trading, like on the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart, than they will on a daily chart. The intraday trading is not my forte.
Wait a second. The banks are reacting to the market? You mean like they're bad traders?
I'm not really talking about that, but a lot of what we are talking about will actually apply to both.
Oh my God.
Just understand that my playground is this daily
playground? You mean your wheelhouse? This guy is, I don't get it. Let me see his entry.
time frame right here and how the banks normally manipulate that. So
they manipulate the time frame. I knew it was rigged. Honey, come here. Look at this.
let's talk a bit more about that video because it really is going to apply to what we're talking about today.
Oh, honey,
A lot of people watched that video and got very excited or got very intrigued, and their minds started going in all sorts of directions, but not the one direction they likely should have gone.
Oh boy. We're tricked by the big banks. Oh boy. Now what are we going to do? Can't we just get our own big bank? Go up against the big banks. I'm going to out-trade them is what I'm going to do.
A lot of people thought to
I'm going to manipulate the market and suck them into a trade.
themselves,
That's what I'm going to do.
let's just trade. Let's just do what we can to trade like the big banks.
Oh, God, can we?
Or let's do what we can to find out where sentiment is going and trade the opposite of that. These are two things
I thought he didn't trade reversals.
that are almost impossible to do. The main objective of the Big Banks video was to say, hey, look, traders, the last thing you want to be in this market is popular. I think I used Zac Efron in that video too.
This guy's kidding me, right? When are we going to see the Tom Vu girls?
I hope 5 years down the line when people are watching this video that he's still relevant. He's the first person I thought of. But I highlighted in that video
Who is this guy?
exactly how the popular kids just get slaughtered over and over again. If you were on the side of the majority, the more popular side,
Oh my God.
chances are wildly against you that that trade is going to go your way, because it is in the bank's best interest to take from the side with the most money on it. Now, what is the most popular technical analysis tool out there? Well, pretty much every chart I see from somebody else has some degree of support and resistance lines on it. So I can say with a pretty high level of confidence that support and resistance lines are the single most popular tool that technical traders use. Now, this is a problem because when everybody or almost everybody is using them, it creates hotspots on a chart.
You think? Oh, this guy's really figured it out. It's about time, Buster. I knew this guy wasn't that fucking retarded.
If you have a particular support and resistance line that everybody can see,
Can you see my line? Honey, they're looking through the window again. This guy says so.
you are probably going to get a lot of trading action
You betcha. I heard when they drive by, they can see your screens.
at or near that line. You're going to get a lot of long, you're going to get a lot of short, you're going to
Well, honey, you want some long? Honey likes it long. She don't like no short.
get a lot of reversal, you're going to get a lot of breakthroughs, you're going to get
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that breakthrough.
a lot of people setting pending orders. And if you want to be really, really popular, do this on the more popular pairs,
Okay.
your dollar pairs.
Right.
There's going to be huge hotspots all over those charts, and they're going to be mainly concentrated where these support and resistance lines are, because that's where the majority of the traders
He's giving away
are.
the secrets now. I get it. It's been leading up to this. He's giving away the secrets.
That's where the
What's moroso? I just learned something. More so?
popular kids are
Is that a word?
hanging out. And so if
Oh,
price
the popular kids. Right. But I can't be a nerdy guy either. You said I can't be a nerdy guy and I can't be popular. Who am I going to be? I got an identity crisis.
ever does arrive at one of these lines, the banks have a decision to make now.
Banks are sitting there with their hands on their hips, their elbows out. Now, what are we going to do about these poor retail traders hanging out at support and resistance again? Don't they understand these are hot spots? Hey, I'm calling the other bankers. Let's teach them retail traders a lesson today. What the fuck is this guy kidding? Yeah, let's not spare the rod, spoil the retail trader.
They already know, before anything even happens, where the majority of the money is sitting for any currency pair, long or short.
They already know. They know. Yeah? And what are they doing about it? This is just so funny. I don't even know why it's like this victimhood thing. Like, we can't figure it out. We just can't. It's so hard to see a wick. I mean, it's almost like they get retested, like it's support and resistance.
At one of these lines, the banks have a decision to make now. They already know.
They got their hand on their chin. One eyebrow up. Everybody's back to our price level. Let's kill them retail traders.
Before anything even happens, where the majority of the money is sitting.
We'd be going some stop hunting today. Get on your horse.
Currency pair, long or short.
Get on your stop hunt horse. Hi-ho, stop hunt.
If there is a change at one of these levels, the banks will react to it.
The banks. The banks are all sitting with their finger in a buy and sell at the market ticket. Really? You don't think they only have orders sitting there pending? No, only retail traders are stupid enough to try to trade with pending orders. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Dude. Yeah, only the big banks make money too, don't forget.
They will ask themselves, is the trading action going on right now going to tilt the balance of the who's going long and who's going short one way or the other? If you have 60...
No, they don't. It's just an open market over the counter. And it's like, okay, nobody's buying, nobody's selling. Selling comes in, selling heats up, you go the other way. It's that simple. Get to the edge. You're in a very small window of 5 pips. You're probably going to reverse, or you're going to go into the hole. You're either going in the hole, or you're tipping in the window and rejecting that support resistance level. So, how do you trade it? You could trade it and scalp it at first, because it's the obvious hot spots are the best scalp spots, right? Anybody knows that. I don't even think you have to trade that at the market. Support resistance, you can set it, forget it trading. And the banks, it's not the banks, it's the fact that there's a lack of pressure of sellers, and then is it going to trade sideways forever? The biggest issue in these markets, as far as what this guy's trying to talk about, is it a fake out or is it a breakout? Maybe it's both. On some level, it's always both. Do you have a plan to adapt to that very subtle difference between an 8 pip stop and an 80 pip stop? It's not that subtle. If you've got stops that are 80 pips, and you got stops that are 20 pips, and 10 pips in between, that's what you would do. And then you go into the market and you look for a place to park that order that makes sense for the voids that appear on your chart. You contour your tickets to whatever market landscape exists. You can't change the landscape. It's written in stone. It's being written every day. The market marches forward into time, and it prints and it paints. And it never, everything before it matters. It's the reference. It's the baseline of reference. And it's also the baseline of no reference. Once you start going, once this Dow Jones, the Nasdaq's about to break out, and it's going to go up so fucking hard. It's going to blow people's minds. And then everything's going to follow the Nasdaq. So the tech wreck, I mean, there's no tech. This tech is booming, booming, booming because robots everywhere now. I'm still talking about, apps and all that stuff. But it's also inflationary. It's also, the whole world's going, digital. But this guy is really entertaining me. Sorry for the long video, but this guy's just, I haven't gotten this far, and sometimes I'll watch a video and then I'll do a video on it, but to run it like without knowing what's coming is just, it's like going to a new restaurant and you're like, oh no, bring me the next thing on the menu.
50% of traders going long and 40% going short on the euro dollar. Once it gets to that one support and resistance line that everybody can see and a lot of people are trading on, what is that going to do to that 60-40? If the trading action going on right there is enough to flip that 60-40 the other way, for example, to where...
Okay, but this is ridiculous. Who cares what the percentages are, dude? It's about the fact that that fucking price is the limit. It's the turnaround. That is a complete turn on a dime situation. It's like the 9-step walk in the sobriety test. After 9 steps, you turn around. Okay.
Where now 60% of traders are attempting to go short. Well, the banks are obviously going to react to that and take price long, which is...
React to what? Oh, they're going to go... Oh, so he knows what direction they're going to go? Then if you know that, why don't you trade that? It just doesn't make sense what he's saying.
Is going to create a reversal off of a support line. If the trading action that's going on at that line is not enough to tilt the balance, or actually makes that 60-40 go longer, so now you have like a 65-35 or a 70-30, well, then it's going to break through that line and just keep right on going. And all the while, while this is going on, banks get to decide how much they want to manipulate price right at the line. So you can see complete breakthroughs, you can see complete reversals, or you can see fakeouts one way or the other.
And your point is, it's so funny, he has no trade plan for that shit. So he doesn't know how to trade a breakout. He doesn't know how to trade a fucking reversal. He doesn't know how to trade a fakeout. So the fakeout's the limit. It's the engulf. This is the fakeout is unfair value at the edge. The breakthrough or the break continuation is it's reached a threshold. You're in the middle of a doji or you're in the middle of a triangle and we're going to go fucking flying up. And the reversal is the same thing as the fake out. I don't know why he's calling this reversal or fake out. Okay, reversal or fake out, but they're the same thing. In a breakout, a true breakout does run and it just keeps going. And it's for a lot of reasons because there's algorithms that are running money management systems that are running trailing stops that are getting hunted, so to speak, and that's fueling it, There's those algos. Or maybe there's people doing that, but who cares? We know what happens when these vacuums fill. It's brutal. It's absolutely fucking brutal. And there's not manipulating it, man. Everybody, you think, how can he possibly say this? Yeah, it's being manipulated by everybody.
Whatever is in their best interest to do, they're going to do it.
Why? Why do they care? Does it mean they're making money? Are all the big banks making money? No big banks are losing money? I don't get it.
Problem is, you don't know which one that's going to be. Now, that's no different than anything else.
But you never know, dumb shit.
Nobody knows exactly where price is going to go.
Of course. Oh.
But the one thing we do know is that at these lines, at these hotspots, the one thing that has a very, very good chance of happening is manipulation by the banks.
Okay.
Price manipulation that we cannot control.
But you can control it. Okay. Is he kidding? You can control it on the other part of the chart? This is just harebrained logic, man. Of course you can't control dumb shit. You could trade it. You can't control any of the market.
When it comes to my money, I don't like things I can't control.
Well, then you shouldn't be trading. See, this guy, it's so sad. And he's sucked. Dude, he's got 14,000 views. It's a crime what he's fucking mashing people's brains so he can sell them an indicator. It's just sick. It's fucking worse than Ron L. Hubbard.
Investing in general already has some of those things that are inherent. I get
really
that.
I get
but
that.
If I can, I want to eliminate as many things as possible that are completely out of my control. So I do my best to just flat out avoid these places.
But dude, you're in that place on some time frame. You're in that place on a daily.
If my personal system says go long and it just happens to be right near one of these lines, so be it. That's just the breaks. But more often than not, I'm going to avoid these areas. And
well, obviously, he's not scalping. But if that was true, what he's got to do is buy right at the edge of the previous day or 7 days back or 9 days back. Is he doing that? No. Because he's got an indicator. Some laggy bullshit. He's using the 14 period ATR for his entry. Are you kidding me? He's missing so many fucking trades on the daily. He's not trading the edge of the market on the daily. He's waiting for some fucking setup on the daily. It's going to take him 20 days to get in the market. He could be in the market in 3 days riding in a huge fucking retracement. But no. No. Big banks are down there doing hotspots and shit.
that actually really works in my favor in the long run. If you guys out there want to have the big banks decide your fate, trade.
Yes, I do, because I want to be one of them, right? So first he says, be one of the big banks. I agree. Be a big bank. Trade with the banks. Do what they do. If you think that's what's happening, just do what the markets typically does. The unbelievable trade. I can't believe I bought down here at the fucking down at the edge. Can't believe it.
Trade support and resistance lines. That's one way to almost guarantee this happening. But the main idea I wanted to get through to everybody in the Big Banks video, and the main idea I want to get through to everybody in this portion right here.
Why does he want to get through? I want to brainwash you out there. You'll be signing up for my course watch just so you can deprogram yourself.
Is to stay unpopular. Avoid these hotspots. Take that lack of control out of your...
Avoid these hot spots. Stay away from those hot women at the hot nightclub. Who do you think you are? And then who's those geeks with the Fibonacci tools trying to make sure their breasts are rightly proportioned to their ass cheeks?
Trading. But that's really hard to do because support and resistance lines are just loved throughout the Forex community.
I just love them. I do love them. More than life itself.
So what makes it worse is so many, because of what I just talked about, so many actual reversals will happen here more than they will on other tools. That doesn't mean they happen enough to actually matter. That just means that you're going to see them happen more often here than you are elsewhere. And who loves that shit more than anybody? Captain Hindsight. Forex Twitter loves this. Forex websites love this because then they can show it to you. Look where this reversal just happened. 2 days ago, we had 4 different support and resistance lines on our screen. We didn't know which one it was going to hit.
That's why you got to trade with 4 tickets. So you proved my point. The reason why this guy is, I don't know why he spends all this time on this, honestly. He's not selling anything. I think he's just trying to set people up so they're literally just drooling a pile of nothing. They can't think straight. Most people trade reversals. Here's the argument that most people lose money, so most people reverse. Of course, we all know that the banks only control 10. They only have 10%, and 90% of traders lose. So, retail traders, right? Because the banks are worried about they're trying to hunt 10% of the market stops. 5% of the market stops they're trying to hunt. Does it make any sense?
But now that we saw which one it actually did hit, we're going to show it to you and act like we knew it the whole time. Now, of course, they're not going to say this out loud, but that is the image they portray. And you don't know any better. You're like, wow, price did bounce off that line. Maybe I should really pay attention to these guys. And that's what they want. But support and resistance lines are great for this because they are very easy to see. They are very easy to show reversals, and reversals do happen more often here than they do anywhere else.
Well, then for God's sakes, man. For God's sakes, why doesn't he use them? I don't get it.
And then on an even more sinister level, people out there who sell bad trading products also love to use support and resistance lines.
Bad trading products? Like what?
Because price is typically going to either break through the line or bounce off of the line. And you can sell both of those things to people. And you can...
Yeah. I mean, doesn't it matter where you're at?
Sell your product and collect money from these people for months until they figure out that this really isn't the way to go. And then if you just are able to convince them that they're just not doing it right, you might be able to hang on to them for...
It's like socialism. You just ain't doing it right. So you got to be nice to everybody. You can't just starve people to death.
Couple more months and keep collecting money. And then just lather, rinse, repeat this whole process.
Lather, rinse, repeat. Absolutely. In fact, if you're going to trade a triple bottom, here's just a pro tip that if the market does this shit and you keep buying and dumping, buy, dump, that's actually trading. I'm just saying.
Process. And I know what I'm saying stings right now because I have...
Ouch. Oof. I'm going to throw all my books out. I'm going to delete my brain files too so you can fill them up with your indicators.
Gotten plenty of emails from people that have bought products just like this.
Products? Like a hair product?
If you want to sell a terrible, scammy product, use support and resistance lines. It's the easiest thing ever. But because no matter where you go, almost everywhere you look, people are showing examples of these lines working, and there's almost nobody out there to tell you otherwise, you get stuck on these things. There's nobody out there that can tell you different.
Oh, boy.
You are going to ride or die with these things, whether they actually...
Ride or die. It works if you work it. It's like AA. This guy should get into AA.
Actually end up working for you or not. And as we have already seen, for most people, they do not.
As we've already seen. Look at all the decapitated limbs and burn victims from your money. Not only did you burn your money, but you got a fucking you're a burn victim. Look at your skin.
And my aim is to make videos for the majority of traders out there, for the majority of up-and-coming traders out there. Not for
the up-and-coming traders. Welcome to Scientology. Have a seat. You see those two cans? Get a grip.
The tiny little minority of people that have found a tool like this and have figured out how to make it work. If any of you out there have done that, good. I am in your corner. I wish you nothing but success. You defied all odds and found a way to make this work. But the odds of most people doing what you just did are tremendously low. Now,
God, I guess he is set up for gooberdom. He's just trying to train goobers to behave. He's like, he needs some sheeple to herd. Okay, people. Face it, you ain't smart enough to get your brain around nothing like support and resistance. So you come here. See this indicator here? See them lines crossing in the panel below the prices? It's like your fuel gauge. See how you run low on fuel?
Now, there's plenty of reasons for this. A lot of it's money management, a lot of it's psychology, but we can't sit there and pretend like some of these tools...
It's not pretend, people. You're in denial. You're in denial using this S&R shit.
And the way they put you in harm's way when it comes to the banks...
Harm's way. Got hit by...
don't contribute to...
Put you in harm's way. Step away from that hot spot, would you? Get away from the mouse. Can't you see they're near a hot spot? Don't tempt me.
This somehow.
Don't tempt me to get in with a market order here. I think it's going to break the other way. How would you know? Joe lost his arm to a burnt bill earlier. Come here, Joe. Show me your arm. See, it says $1 right on it.
But on that money management tip, let's keep going on this because this is something
even worse. Huh? Wow, we're only halfway through the video. Sorry, people. I'm just so anxious. This is the only way to calm down.
else you're going to see that really does drive me nuts. People use support and resistance lines for money management purposes, and I think it is incredibly short-sighted. So sometimes breakthroughs do happen. They probably happen more than reversals happen.
Okay, I guess so, right? I mean, who wants to put their stop that fucking wide? I agree with him. I think what he's saying, and I'm just trying to visualize, since he hasn't drawn us one fucking chart in like how long, that what he means is that you don't want to have your trailing stop back at the old resistance, right? When they come back and get you again, right? You want to get the fuck out. Like if the market's hauling ass and you're up, get the fuck out.
Through these lines. And when they do happen, what you're going to see is people telling you to, hey, now that price is broken through this level, you don't need to do anything until we approach this next level. Have you guys ever seen this before?
That's not true. You do have to get the fuck out of something. You have to scale out. You cannot just ride to the next fucking target that you think is going to happen. He's totally right. So this is why he can't trade that. As he's not getting the fuck out. He's not scaling out. He's not scaling in. There is no exact entry. We don't know if they're going to push into that window. We don't know if they're going to approach that window, but we do know that if we just take the wicks only, closing to wick, the window, in fact, I'd love to have a fucking indicator that showed me the wick window, right? You'd have to have a panel above and below, and you'd have to have a robot that is aware of the wick window, the length of the wicks above and below. The upper wicks and the lower wicks, whether they're bullish or bearish doesn't matter. It's not where the candle closed. It's where that area is, because you're taking open to close. So you're actually saying that you've got overlapping candles, overlapping. You've just taken and combined the open and the close together. So it's kind of bizarre, right? Hagenashi's trying to smooth out the data and just give you a nice smooth line. Some of that compression, some of that is taking away really the essence of it. I guess the part that you on a larger time frame would want to see, maybe certainly on a daily, it's closing prices. I mean, we could see a triple bottom on daily. We can just get in. We can get in at the trend line. We could channel trade the daily charts, easy as fuck. And the range of the day matters. So at the end of the day, what's the range? This guy's trading daily. I'd say when it comes into Asia, look at the previous day and think about them stop hunting. I think of them coming after the lows and highs. And are you going to buy there for a scalp initially and then it drops? Do you think that it's going to keep smashing down? I don't understand why this guy wouldn't go to the 1 hour chart though and say, okay, this is an insane price level. It's a lonely wick, I call it. That's my new term, is the lonely wick in the dailies, right? So you see that big spike, and that's the inner landscape, right? Because the daily is not going to show you that little shelf. And the 4 hour, why doesn't he just try the fucking 4 hour on 5 o'clock? Goes 591 on your chart, Eastern Standard Time. Just deal with it. It's nothing fancy. Just deal with it. 6 bars a day. 6 fucking bars a day. Plenty of money to be made on breakouts in the 4 hour charts. This also presupposes if you're going to trade multiple currency pairs, you need completely dedicated scripts just for that pair, for that spread, for that occasion. And you got to go look at that fucking chart every 4 hours, unless you got every 6 hours, like you got a robot doing every 4 hours, 6 times a day, and religiously launch these, if need be, based on current true range of the daily chart, say. What is the high-low of the day? Okay, why not? Is that like a big deal compared to the last 10 days? You should be able to just look at the chart and say, you know what? A couple days ago, this thing fell through a hole on the weekly, and we are cutting into new water. And am I going to trade the 4-hour chart or not? Am I going to trade the wicks in the 4-hour chart? Am I going to just accept the fact that not every fucking trade's a winner? I don't think this guy's accepted it. I just don't. And he's like, oh, I'll lead you along. And we're at the, I'm a VP of the prop house. God, prop house. That ought to tell you everything. Just like a fake utopian view of trading.
Because if you...
Experts will tell you to keep the trade open until the next time. Experts. Son, what we use here is experts. Now, when I tell you, let your profits run, we're not kidding. We're experts.
If you ever see it, just know that this is some really, really bad money management advice.
No, that is true. I think you have to get the fucking scalp off the table. And it's like moving your stop.
I'll show you what I mean on my charts. Just give me a second to find a good example here.
God.
Okay, didn't take long. We're here at the Euro-Dollar weekly chart. Now, I know I don't trade the weekly chart. This is what's called an example. So if you...
Huh? God, is this current price here? Let's see. I guess so. This was 4 days ago. And he's on the weekly chart? Okay. Looks like a buy to me. Wow. That is an insane buy. Like, this is like the third time here.
If you look where price is right now, you're going to see a pretty, I guess what people would say, strong support line right here, or really close to it, where price just hasn't quite broken through. Now, let's say...
Oh, it broke through, but it rejected, so you know. It broke through. Right? It didn't break through and close. It doesn't have to. It broke through. And then people scalped it all the way to this breakthrough. I can't mark it off because my thing won't let me draw it, but if you look to the right here, obviously, there's a trap. Selling the wicks. You buy the wick. And you sell the, also the doji. We almost retest that doji again. Now we got a nice wedge forming. The plot thickens. Yes, we could go in here. My buy limits are going to be right here. All stacked up all month long. Easy. Buy really big. Or start to average your martingale in heavy here. Heavy. Right? Isn't that the plan? It's everybody's plan. The big banks are doing the same thing, you know. You think they don't know what's going on with your account?
That it does. And price starts coming down here a little bit. What you are going to find is there will be people out there that will say things like, well, the next support level isn't until all the way down here, which is, how many pips is that?
That's one of them.
A lot. It's about 650 pips. Pretty exciting, right? I mean, all price has to do is break through this line, and it is invariably going to go all the way to this line. Now, price might do that.
That's pretty insane claim, don't you think, based on previous behavior? Have you ever seen a move like that? I think I can see one here, but this is pretty amazing, actually. Look at this little stop hunt into this little area. And look at that. The bank should be manipulating a hotspot there. Look at him rip this fucker down, just crush through here. So scalpers get out there at that bottom, become a top. Now we got this another huge selling opportunity. Actually, I'd be selling all these wicks too for this move. So you got to go counter. Start buying these wicks. Here's a great entry. You still have a chance to get aboard the train here. Then we flag out. Doji City. People are trading that. Then kablamo. The real breakout. amazing. Buyers come in at that previous top, rip it all the way to here. Now the plot thickens. We might go down here, but we got a weekly hammer for me right now. It looks amazing on the weekly, like we're just going to go through the roof.
Eventually, who knows? But that is a really, really stupid way to manage a trade.
Well, I mean, that's true. It's also really stupid analysis to think the market could go down there, I mean, in one day.
Now, people might not say that directly to hang on to your trade until it gets to that next support level, but why would they even say it in the first place if they didn't think it had some significance to it? I mean, if price does break...
Who are they? You know, this is the thing. And like I said in the other video, there's so many trades on this chart that to say that that's the losing trade, so the winning trade would be the opposite, logically speaking. It has to be a blend of certain kinds of trades. It has to be a little of this, a little of that. I mean, I'm saying to be the ultimate trader, you need to be able to scalp or think like a scalper and think like a swing trader and think like a trend trader and see how those trades are the obvious trades on there. You know, hopefully that's the thing, right? Weekly chart, I don't know. I mean, you really have to wait a long time for a fill here, wouldn't you?
So much can happen between here and here. So many things. And you could be passing up on so many pips just because you were waiting for it to get to a level that it may not get to.
That's true.
For a very long time. It may come back up.
But I'm not trading support resistance like he is. I'm trading it like, okay, here's resistance, here's support. I mean, yeah, right. No shit, Sherlock. This is insanely deep, right? We're really coming back there. This chart's all chopped off. I can't see it properly.
You have no idea. But if you had a really good money management system in place, you would already know what to do because you would be taking the same steps every time, no matter what the trade did. But if you are using this as your money management strategy, man, got some bad news for you. I mean, every once in a while you're going to be right, but that could be the worst.
I get it now. Wow. I didn't understand where this guy was coming from until just now. So basically he's talking to people that maybe he's assuming that somebody would actually think that that's a possible trade, I guess. That's just mind-blowing. Notice how he has no chart shift on his MT4. He's right up against price there. No vision into the future. He's not trading into the future enough.
Thing that ever happened because you're going to take this approach from this point on. And you have to understand why price moves the way it does. Price will get down here if and only if retail traders keep trying to go long the euro dollar for a very...
Wait a second. Is he saying that retail traders account for over half of the volume out there? Let's see if I get this straight. So the banks have to gobble up. They need your orders to go the other way. How can this be true? I thought the banks had that they were most of the market. I mean, I'm just amazed.
Very long time. You know, what are the chances of that? What are the chances of that happening anytime soon? What are the chances of some world event coming in and shifting the overall price of this thing altogether? So many things can happen between here and here. I think a lot of you guys know to avoid this trap, but this is an absolute trap. Money man,
you guys wised up and took my earlier course about how to be scared shitless at trading and just don't do anything till your indicator says it's okay.
Management should be an intelligent, consistent system that you guys use all the time. I've already given you one, but this ain't it right here.
Oh, shit.
Just so you know.
Okay.
So I just want to mention that while we're here, because
for
especially now that I've said it to you, you're going to be able to see it a little more often now that it's in your head. Forex websites in particular, even more so Forex websites that belong to actual brokers, Like if you go to the Owanda technical analysis page or the Dukas copy technical analysis section, they
just a minute, buddy. Don't beat up on my broker. Now you're getting below the belt.
Love showing you where the support and resistance lines are in hopes that you choose to use them this way.
You mean to tell me they got their finger on the trigger when they see that order come in? I knew they were working against me, them damn brokers. God damn it. They mean to tell me they're giving me they're setting me up? Is this guy kidding? Yeah, well, they're hoping that you fall for it. You know what's going to happen at that price, don't you? Well, maybe I should do the opposite. Oh, they won't let you do that. They can see you're trying to do the opposite thing there. Don't even think about going with their opposite. They kick you right out of the brokerage firm, dude.
Forgetting that Owanda, for example, is a dealing desk broker. They make their money by taking the opposite side of your trade.
Say what I tell you.
So, of course, they want you to use these. But
yeah, because they're going to trick you there. Because they all got their algos tuned to go opposite. You just haven't figured out that you got to know they're going opposite, right? So re-trick them.
Moving on.
Is this guy fucking kidding me? Now we have a river. Okay, I'm triggered. The nature scene. Is this the good stuff? Is this where you're going to start trading? Hey, man, when are you going to make some money?
I already know the argument's coming, so I'm going to go ahead and try to squash it right now. There will be those of you out there who say, well, VP, I don't just use support and resistance lines to trade. I use a confluence of different tools, including support and resistance lines. So confluence is when multiple things flow into one thing. That's why I use this picture here. The only problem with this is, let's say you use support and resistance lines and you pair it with Fibonacci or pivot points or something like that. All you've really done is make yourself even more popular. You've just...
Oh my God. Well, can't I just take the opposite side of these trades you're talking about? Because obviously this is what the goober, I won't be no goober. He's telling me what the goober's doing. He's like, you want to be popular?
It's made that hot spot even hotter by adding on other really popular tools.
Oh my God, it's us dumb retail traders creating the damn hotspots and burning our own fucking asses with them dollar bills. I knew we were fucking ourselves.
You have opened yourself up to even more bank manipulation.
Oh God, they can see us orders again. I don't pull the trigger till I know the banks are hiding out. Like the banks are done feasting on the other retail traders. Then I go in.
In trying to make your chances of winning better, you actually ended up making them worse.
Oh God, like quicksand. How come you didn't show like the bread tar pits here or something? So you get eaten like an elephant gets eaten in the...
I know this can be a bitter pill to swallow, but understand where...
Yeah, no shit. Dude, I mean... I'm going to blow my brains out. We're going to make some money. You're making everything sound so dangerous.
Where I'm coming from on this, the more you avoid these manipulation hotspots...
He's kidding, right? Honey, have you been out manipulating hotspots again?
The more you allow your actual technical analysis system to do what it is designed to do. Do not sit...
Oh, wait a second. But he's saying it's technical analysis system. Don't them hotspots burn out your technical analysis system.
There and take extra measures to intentionally slam into these areas to where you have a lot less control.
Like he's driving through the chart. Is this guy kidding? Can somebody please explain this guy to me? What is he talking about? Yes, you lost control. Dude, get a motorboat. Okay, instead of coming down this fork in the road, a sailboat.
The game here is avoidance. And if
the game is avoidance. No shit. Now he must be the nerd. Okay, he was not the popular kid. He's beating up on the Dirty Dozen too. I like him now.
Using tools like this, you're playing the game the opposite of how it's
game they want you to play. See, Oander's working against you.
Supposed to be played by purposely trading in those areas where banks are certain to fuck with you.
Oh my! Did you just hear what Mildred? He said they're fucking with us at them levels. Oh, my first wife got raped in a hot spot.
Traders, I really want to put the odds in your favor, and this is exactly how you don't do that.
Oh my God!
Now, the second part about why I don't advise people use support and resistance lines is like a lot of
lack of lubricant,
technical tools, especially ones in the Dirty Dozen video.
The Dirty Dozen. He knows his shit. Mildred, he knows his shit. I'm telling you, call Betty, call Ethel.
There's a lot of guesswork involved.
Oh, I hate guessing. Hurts me brain.
Maybe not as much as if you were to use Fibonacci or trend lines or something like that.
No, I know what you mean.
But the fact still remains. You never really 100% know, am I shooting for a breakout or a reversal?
But somehow this guy's figured out some way that he knows.
What is more likely to happen here?
There's a couple things. Both could happen. It typically does break out and fakes out a little bit, and if it's going to keep going, and it keeps going. If it ain't, it's going to turn around, and you just got to fucking figure out what you're going to do.
More than one support and resistance line on my chart. Which is the one where the action is really going to take place?
Probably at the 5-year low.
Am I choosing the right one? Which time frame is this going to?
Depends how long you want to be in the market here. So, this is the big deal. I say, find a market. Use a 20 pip stop. If it's too expensive, go to a cheaper currency with a 20 pip stop. If it's too wimpy, go up. Or, even better, trade 2K on a cheap currency and trade 1Ks on the expensive currency, because you don't have a choice. You're at the lowest you can get. If you're a New Zealand dollar, if you're an Australian dollar, you can use more. You're going to pay more spread, obviously, right? But you're also getting more. The spread to the amount of the currency, right? So it's kind of wimpy, right? I mean, you're kind of getting killed on the spread in a way because you can buy twice as much and be more fun. But there's no free lunch, people. No free lunch. I know it's a heartbreaker. And it's going to cost you money to trade. You just want to reduce the cost. It's not a loss. It's a cost. You're not losing money. You're spending money to make money. You're not losing. You're not blowing up accounts. You're in an endeavor in a world that you can't control. Cannot control the next tick.
Going to happen intraday, or is this going to happen on a longer time frame?
Well, fuck, put your goddamn thinking hat on, you fucking bozo. It's going to take a lot of guesswork. Shit, where are we going to put the mall? I don't know, man. You got like a surveyor guy that's going to come out and make sure this thing ain't crooked?
It's probably going to happen somewhere. And
I got a guy coming out on Tuesday that says you can make it uncrooked.
Forex Twitter is going to be right there to squawk about it. Which one is it going to be? Because I need to know now. I don't need to know after the fact.
Oh, you need to know now, do you? Okay, fuckhead. I already told you. I don't think this guy's ever seen me. Don't tell him I'm commenting. He's probably going to sue me.
And then once I do enter this trade, what do I do next?
Get yourself a fucking beer, dude, because you're too uptight.
Do I have a consistent plan of action in place?
Now, this is true. He's finally fucking this far in. He should be starting here. He's putting the cart before the horse. The first thing to consider is, what do I do after I get in? Am I going to trail my stop, or is this going to be a scalp? Am I going to just wait an hour and say, well, you know what? We haven't gone anywhere. I've got on a lot of trades that go up after I get out. I honestly don't care because I know that I can put an order in 3 pips deep, 9 pips deep, 12 pips deep. I've written so many of these things that I've got them so the 3 pips apart. And I just look at it and say, okay, I think we could go down there. I'm guessing, but I have 100 guesses. Putting 100K in one case. I have 100 guesses, okay? I'm going to the casino. I'm going to win. Go roulette. I'm going to win. So I'm guessing the next one's going to be black. And even if I'm wrong, if I bet the right size consistently, then I know that, we haven't had red in a while. I'm going to start loading up, and that's how I make money at the casino, even on a slot machine. I bet small until I think, God, this thing hasn't hit one fucking thing, really? I bump it up a little bit. Right? It's not going to hit. How long can it go without hitting? Well, that's like gambling. But what else are you going to do? Do you have a choice? You can't control these markets. This guy's under the false sense of security with his fucking stupid ass indicator, or whatever the fuck he's using. But he's right. What do you do? Which time frame and what do you do after you enter? Right? This also, if you're on the 1 hour chart, you may only be in that market for an hour and a half and make more money than this fucking goober's ever going to make in his life.
If you're also using support and resistance lines to manage your trade, you really don't. Because that next line can be 20 pips away or it can be 1,000 pips away. And that is anything but consistent. And I know a lot.
1,000 pips. That's asking a lot on certain pairs.
A lot of you newer traders out there that are using support and resistance lines are running into this problem. And all of this
my God, if you are, dude, if you're running into that problem, then yeah, you're doing something terribly wrong, aren't you? You're going too far back into support. I mean, you just can't go that deep back and say, oh, well, yeah, these are ridiculous targets he's talking about. 1,000 pips.
This work completely destroys your confidence. Yes, I'm putting it in blue. This is a mini trading psychology video.
Okay, listen, if you got confidence issues, you go trade the demo or trade small. If you have confidence issues, you probably had those before you traded. I mean, you've got a problem. I met people that say, I'm having to open up some, I'm a survival mission here. Listen to people talk about anything else. Well, I don't know anything about that. Hell, let somebody else fix the car. Okay, well, you're not going to fix your own car. You're not even going to check the oil. I got it. So you want somebody to manage your money. You don't want to fucking get your hands dirty and fucking be clicking a mouse and shit. I got it. But, dude, some people don't give a fuck. They're willing to take that energy and they don't mind managing these markets. It's not a drudgery. The confidence just comes from just continuous execution on a demo or real money, and it's not even confidence. It's boring as fuck. Trading is what the fuck it is.
All of my trading psychology videos have blue on the title, on the font. And so this is something we're going to talk about because this is pretty big. So confidence really comes from two things. It comes from doing. You have to act.
That blue made me feel real good. Hey, honey, that blue making you feel good? Look at that blue you put up there.
Actually have experience and trade often to really get to a point where you're confident in what you're doing. This applies to anything, not just trading. But so that's kind of the obvious one. But certainty is a really big one, too. I mean, it's huge.
He's right. Execute. Just trade, man. Just trade. You'll be fine. If you don't know how to trade, just don't put a lot of money in the account. You'll be fine.
I would say that your level of certainty on anything is directly related to how much confidence you're going to have about it. The more certainty you have, the more confidence you're going to have with it. When I go back home and see my best friend, we always play tennis and we always play for money.
When I go back home, wow, he plays for gambles for tennis? What a recluse. Tennis.
And I always beat him. He beat me one.
Oh my. He's a popular boy.
One time, like 10 years ago, and that was enough to give him this false sense of confidence that he has any chance of beating me again. And I just completely run over him all the time because I know what he's terrible at. And, I've played him a bunch of times. And so I know, he's...
And the banks know what you're terrible at, so they get you every time.
He's pretty athletic, but I know what he sucks at. I know what he's good at. And I'm able to beat him every time based on this because I have a lot of certainty in a lot of different areas, including the fact that I beat him almost every time. So
wow. Hey, did you beat him almost every time?
because of that, I have a ton of confidence when I play him. You know, I'll talk trash, I'll showboat, you know, I'll try things I normally don't try because I have tons of confidence going forward because I have a lot of
Because you beat him every time?
certainty. Now, if I were to play somebody I don't know for money, that's going to be a totally different story. Because now
Come on.
my confidence is way
Come on. You're joshing us now.
down because my certainty is way down.
No, it ain't. You're just saying that. It's like you're hustling us is what you're doing, son.
I mean, is this guy athletic? Where has he played before? You know, what's he good at? How hard can he hit? I don't know any of these things going in.
You're a moron.
And so even though I'm a confident guy, my confidence in this situation is going to be way less than it was.
I'm a wild and crazy guy. But right now, I'm scared shitless of this market I'm in. Damn, I hope that euro goes up. I'm hog long.
Before because my certainty is way down. They go hand in hand. And
Get
while
yourself some with Viagra, that Zoloft.
in this video right here, we can't do anything about your overall experience level. You just got to get to it and trade and make mistakes.
Get
And
to it. Now he's right about that. He's a good coach. Get to it. Get out there. Get trading.
learn and get better and better and better. But we can do something about this right here. And it starts with eliminating things that create uncertainty.
That dirty dozen.
And most price action tools out there do not allow much certainty at all. I mean, like I said, there is that small handful of you that have found one or two of them and over time mastered them in some way and started making money. Great. You are an outlier.
Oh,
For
boy.
most traders, and there's a lot of smart people in that group, a lot of dumb.
This guy, is he talking? It's just like, welcome goobers to my channel. No nonsense Forex. No brain needed Forex.
Are an outlier. For most traders, and there's a lot of smart people in that group, a lot of dumb people, a lot of smart people, but for
A
most,
lot of dumb, isn't more dumb than smart. Come on, be honest. There's not. You can't say a lot of both. 50% morons, 50% geniuses.
most traders, these tools create nothing but constant uncertainty, and that kills your confidence going forward, and it allows you to not trade in a smart, consistent way. But you're told from the start that these are the only tools out there, and these are the ones that work best, so those are the ones you use. And then you also see on trading forums and Reddit and places like that trading with indicators is stupid and doesn't work. But forgetting the fact that most of these people have never used indicators or have
It's stupid and it doesn't work. We should get ICT and this guy to go into a battle of the goober. Trained by goobers, launched by goobers.
only used a few really bad ones when there are literally thousands out there. And so if this is all you hear, of course you end up using these tools. Of course you end up with a ton of uncertainty. And up until this channel came along, not even a year and a half ago, you never knew different. But we're here now. And at the end of the day, you can
Thank God you're here. I just didn't even know how to get to the computer, but thanks. Thanks, Mr. Vice President of Prop House. Thank you. Thank you very much.
decide what's better or worse. But I can tell you this. When it comes to trading with any level of certainty, it's not even close. If you take the support and resistance lines that most people use and compare that to an indicator-based system that we use here at No Nonsense Forex, we've already gone over a lot of the uncertainty and guesswork support and resistance lines will unavoidably give you. First off, are you using the right line? I have 4 support and resistance lines drawn on my chart right now. Which is the one where the reversal is going to happen? Which is the one where the breakthrough is going to happen? It's probably going to happen somewhere, and Forex Twitter and all the websites are going to be there to tell me about it tomorrow, but I want to know right now which one's
Well, I'll tell you. And why does he think his indicator-based system is going to do better? Please explain.
the right line. If I drop down a time frame, now I have more lines. Which time frame am I even supposed to be on here? Something is going to happen at one of these lines, but I have now 6 or 7 of them drawn on my chart, and I don't know which one it's going to hit. And once it does break through or hit a reversal, how do I manage my trade?
Oh, God.
What do I do from here? And I get it. Some of you support and resistance lines traders have a plan of action when it comes to managing your trade, but many people don't. And this is guesswork that absolutely kills your confidence. And it's hard to trade when you don't have any confidence behind what you're actually doing. How do you expect to succeed? How do you expect to succeed at anything if you don't have any confidence behind it? To where, with an indicator-based system, especially the one we use here, I know exactly where to trade every time. I know whether to go long or go short or do nothing because my system tells me. And then the money management is already built in. I handle every trade on a percentage basis, and I handle every trade the exact same way once I am already...
See how retarded that is, what he just said? This is that 2% bullshit. He doesn't trade the structure of the market. He trades a percentage of risk. How fucking retarded can you fucking be? This guy's the worst, man. He is the fucking worst. It's just sick. Yeah, you leave all that fucking pips on the table. It is going to that fucking zone eventually, dumb shit. He doesn't scale out. He trades percentage of his account, one ticket at a time.
In it. There is no guesswork here. I have also tested this system 5 years back and 1 year forward, and it worked.
5 years back. Is this guy kidding? I keep saying that, but I mean, seriously, people. You mean to tell me he only went back to 2000 and whatever that is, the math? Oh my God, man. These markets are going to change, man. What, he curve fitted this fucking thing 5 years back on the daily? What a dumb shit.
Really well every time. So no matter what happens, I can confidently move forward and just keep trading this way.
I can't wait to watch
If I take a string of losses, well, I took string of losses with this system in the past. Those things happen. I know that long term, in the end, I am going to come out ahead. And to me, this is far superior to this constant state of second guessing and wonder if I use the right tool at the right time with the right direction. And then I have to go in and keep drawing new ones and erase old ones.
It's the right plan at the right situation for the right time. Trading's not easy, man. You can't just do what this guy's doing and throw a fucking indicator up and goddamn trade daily charts. I'm so sorry. Well, I don't know how many currency pairs he's trading. Maybe he is trading enough currency pairs. But that means his percentage of account risk is so arbitrary to the instrument he's trading and the structure of that one instrument. There's a reality there. Sure, the market does turn around in certain places. There is support and resistance. And even if it's not, even these hotspots really don't exist. Apparently he said they do. As long as you got a trade plan, man, you're good.
I mean, traders, all things considered, if you had to completely start over again, which one would you rather have? For those of you who are not familiar with this channel, this is what we build here.
Honestly, I wish I never would have seen an indicator. It's like Victoria's Secret store. Once I saw that, I said, holy shit. Well, girlfriend would look hot in that. My ex-wife would look good in that.
It doesn't take that long, and people have seen results right away. And they all say the same thing.
My hair's growing back.
They say,
it's
I'm
crazy.
never going back to this ever again.
My hair's growing back like he said. Once you put that indicator gel on, fucking hair club for men, go fuck yourself. I got hair now.
So just remember this. For brand new traders and
a kiss is just a kiss.
People who already trade our system, this is kind of two different pieces.
System. Over here at No Nonsense Forex Trade. Here at Dumbass Scientology Trading.
Pieces of advice here. For the brand new traders, just know the support and
over the bridge.
Resistance lines are not all they're made out to be.
They're not all, and they look hot on the chart, and man, she looks good in that. But wait till she takes it off.
two sides of the coin here, and nobody ever shows you the other side of the coin. So just be aware of
Ouch.
what that is. And also note the fact that nobody
Oh, okay. The fact nobody speaks ill of them is a bad thing. Huh?
says anything bad about support and resistance lines. Almost nobody out there that I've seen. Almost all of the information out there is super positive and shows you how
What I say is that it's bad because it's really where people get trapped, you know, thinking it's going to keep going, that they don't realize it could reverse there. It also could keep going. But you have to have some kind of awareness of the larger time frame or the larger areas that go back at least 10 bars, right?
work. And when you hear that, especially in the investment and trading world, I mean, alarm bells should be going off in your head immediately.
Bing, 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 bing.
And then coupled with the fact that most traders, almost every trader out there, never gets to where they want to be in Forex, and most of them lose money, should really be tripping alarm bells off in your head.
And they're all using this fucking support and resistance shit, you know? They're all using it just like it's intended to be.
And it probably did at one point, but then you go out there and look for more information, and all of the information out there is very positive towards these tools. You know, what else are you going to think?
But they don't give those indicators a negative. All the indicator stuff I see is positive. I never seen a guy do a video about indicators and go, this thing sucks dick, look at this. But everybody knows the part of it that sucks dick. The part that when the market keeps going and it's defies the indicator.
You know, I don't blame you for going against your gut on this one, but your gut was right. It doesn't add up at all. And so for people who follow the no-nonsense Forex way of trading, the main takeaway I want you to get out of this video is just when you see them, because you're going to, you're going to run into times where you're trading right into a support and resistance line, and even though you've kind of conditioned yourself not to see them anymore,
you just ignore them hot spots and keep on driving, son. Get away from them hot spots. You're going to burn your fucking nuts off with a dollar bill.
You're still going to see them. Don't let it affect you one way.
Just keep staring straight through the ring of fire, dude. Just keep going. You'll be okay. You got your indicators to back you up. They're watching your back.
Or another. It's just circumstance. Just keep right on.
This guy's gay, right? Listen to his lesbies. Obviously, he's lesbian, showing only guys. You notice that? He was never a popular boy.
Doing what you're doing because what you are doing has been proven to work. And for all of you support and resistance diehards out there, let me extend an olive branch to you. I mean, some of this is going to be kind of repeating what I'd said before, but still.
Look, he's going to offer something to us losers. Us people that have been manipulated by the bank till kingdom come.
Try this. Just go with me on this.
Oh, God. If you choice?
Love support and resistance lines and you're really having success with them, just keep doing that.
Oh, thank Jesus. He let me off the hook. Fuck, I thought I was going to have to join.
I mean, why deviate from what works? If it actually works, if you're getting great yearly returns all the time, and these lines...
Wow, he's giving me a year to make money. That's incredible. Of course, he's on a daily chart.
Lines are part of the reason why. Far be it from me to take you off of that. Remember, this video is not geared towards you.
Man, he had me on the hook this whole time.
You are an anomaly. You are an outlier. You have found ways to make something like this
Thank you, Jesus.
work that does not work for most traders. And this video is made for most traders. So if you're rocking these and it's working and you're making money, keep on doing it. But you can always try improving.
That was my oven. That wasn't his indicator going off.
You know, there's other ways
to get some sustenance
to do things, and you might as well optimize the best system you can possibly put together, because you're going to have this the next 10, 20 years.
Holy shit. Now, this is one thing that really did bother me a whole bunch when I was learning trading from books and everything. I could never decide which was the best indicator. So I just didn't take any. RSI is really the best indicator. Come on. It's probably one of his dirty dozen, but he doesn't realize that the trade exists in your head.
Why not go with the best one? Maybe there's other ways. I mean, is it possible that there are better ways to trade Forex than what you're doing right now? Do you have the time to test it out? You know, start another demo account and try maybe trading our way. And so you can at least
I like what he's saying now. Boy, he strung me out there. I almost sold all my support and resistance lines. I almost did a book burning here.
say, okay, look, I tried my way, I tried your way. Now I can actually say, without sounding like a buffoon, because I've actually tried my way and your way, that my way works better. Compare the two. Contrast the two. But the only way you can
contrast and compare.
Really do that is if you try both ways out. And I will have so much more respect for people like you than I do people who come into my channel and say things like, well, indicators are stupid, they don't work. Or, you know, millionaire traders use support and resistance lines, so how are you going to sit there and say they don't work? Well, because they don't work for most people. But you owe it to yourself to try both and see which one works the best, because then you'll have it forever.
Okay.
And one of them might...
Forever, man. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I think this indicator's so good I've been using. I'm going to put it in my will. My children are going to have... What about the children? They need indicators too, you know. I ain't going to leave my kids without a good indicator. I will
might be far
my best indicator to my son, Johnny.
Better than the other one, and you'll never know unless you do it. But if you really love price action and you just can't see trading any other way, that's fine. That's totally your call. But what I would also suggest...
I get to make my own call.
Maybe you do, is check out my money management playlist. I've had a lot of people come in and say, you know, I really disagree with VP's whole indicator thing. I'm a pure price action trader. But I did like the money management playlist. That did actually help me. And maybe it can help you too.
I'll check that out. I didn't see the money management playlist.
I'll go ahead and link that down below in the description as well. But if you are out there...
Sorry, guys. That was a rough ride.
You are a new trader...
2 hours to calm down. Sorry.
That's looking for a system that takes the guesswork out of things, which, trust me, you're going to learn this right away.
I hate guessing. He's right. It hurt me brain.
Guesswork out of things is phenomenal.
Ouch.
Or you're just intrigued and you want to see what we do here. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, don't miss anything. I will also link the beginner's video down below, whether you're a beginning trader or you're not. We do things different.
I gotta give him a thumbs down. It's totally ridiculous. Okay, so let me scroll down to the comments, most recent. I gotta see what this... I just can't fucking believe this shit. I gotta see what this says. This is mind-blowing. Let's take a look at this. Come here. Give me the newest comment, please. He just posted this. This guy's misleading so many people. Yes, you are correct, sir. I say bingo. That's my new call. Bingo. It's a gambling term. What else? They don't say who liked your thing. They used to say who liked your thing, and what YouTube does, they stripped away the likes. You know, the notification who liked it. First of all, it's not all that SNR don't work. It's just that the majority of traders are dumb. We can't say that some tools work and others don't just because we make or lose money using them. Most of the times, we don't use them the right way. Yeah, there's so many ways to use these things. It's incredible. Second, SNR are not and cannot be lines. They're areas. Big difference. Yes. Where price might move a certain way. Third, we can't guess the direction of the price when it hits the when it's in the SNR. All we can do is see in front of our eyes. That's where we choose the right indicator with the right settings comes into play. Lastly, there is no such thing as certainty in trading. It's a combination of simple tools to limit our risk and exit at the right time. Yes, he is correct. Straight, crystal clear talking. Wait, I just blew through this guy's. I see the reply. Somebody replied to him. Here's no nonsense. You seem to have found a well thought out approach to using them, which is awesome. Not many can ever do that. Actually, I feel a no nonsense Forex guy's really, he's really like looking for people that are just like barely able to make it to the internet. Fibonacci nerds. Oh, yeah. I don't think they're relevant for a daytime trader. Facts. Oh, facts are violence, dude. Don't you understand? God, I love this channel. Sir, where do we learn your way? Is there a link? Dude, I don't suggest anybody trade like anybody else, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody's going to be able to do what I'm doing or want to do it. I don't think anybody's going to want to do what this guy's doing. This doesn't make any sense. So no price action? Just use indicators? But almost all indicators are lagging. Yes, he had no answer. That's very dumbfounding. No trend lines, no support, no resistance. Left out just a bunch of indicators on your charts, and you guarantee you lose? If you look at the indicators rather than price, well, good luck to you because you're going to need it. Yeah. Yeah. He's waiting for the oil gauge to break out. I want to reply to that. Hey, VP. I'm coming here after watching risk video. Wow. It's just amazing. He's got a cross section of people. People that know how to, people know about the market, people that don't. Yeah, it's a zone, people. Avoidance zones. So I never time my entries or exits to those zones. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. Try to stay away from the 99% and the big banks. Wow. It's proven useful to see if I can see the big boys in action around there. Good Lord, who cares? Do you understand? There's going to be a reaction every time the market's making new highs and new lows. Every time the market moves, it has a reaction to something. Oh, God. Everything he said in this video is everything that I ran into when trading SNR, and everything said make complete sense. Is it the volume indicator that tells you where the majority of action is? And this is another harebrained, you are great. Thank you. Well, she's kind of hot. Hey, Lucy, come to my channel. Fuck him. Lucy, come here. Sit down. We'll talk about the first thing that, we'll talk about spike trading. Forgot the SNR. We'll just talk about Wicks. This is my holy grail of trading. Open an account. Open a demo account. Study the market for 6 months. Trade in demo. And play with technical analysis. Learn to code strategies. Or hire someone to do it for you. Design strategies and test them. In the last decade, look for strategies with maximum drawdown of 30% and minimum of returns of 60%. Once you have 5 to 10 strategies, yeah, he's right. Apply them. Take a risk, 5% of your account. That's presupposing you've got good trade strategy. You don't need discipline since your computer will work for you. Well, you still got some kind of discipline to do this project. There will be no doubt because your strategies have worked for 10 years. Well, that's not even enough. I mean, you really got to keep constantly adjusting your stuff to fit the market. You got to, if you're trend trading, you got to adjust stuff. You will only need patience to see results. I guess. You shouldn't trade without support and resistance. They just help conceptualize the market and your understanding of buying and selling balance to identify opportunities. Well, he's not able to do that. Glad to be part of this priceless channel since day one. It's priceless. Oh, you get rewards for this one way or another. Thanks, champ. I like the guy that says he's misleading people. It's very funny. Anyways, I got to get something to eat. But good luck with the no-nonsense Forex. 2 hours of no-nonsense.